allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is H to the OV. I used to move snowflakes by the OC. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROCO. Fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz #1 supplier.
Hi there and welcome to Sal's Hoopheads. As always, great to have your company. So much happening in the world of basketball right here in Aotearoa and, of course, across the world. And as always, we are joined by the dynamic duo. Muls and Case, great to see you both.
Thank you, Justin. It's great to be called that yet again.
A duo or dynamic?
Both.
Right, okay.
I don't get a lot of... Do you get a lot of dynamic calls on your...
No.
Well, we appreciate it.
We changed Dom Kalman-Porto's first name. And in fact, Case and Buckman did. She called him the Dominator Kalman-Porto.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, listen, on the intro there, Tom Abercrombie, great news.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It is, and it was news that it kind of needs to happen for Mody Moore because the pieces are starting to fall into place now. You've got the point guard, Will McDowell-White, and you've got the veteran leadership, Tom Abercrombie. One more year for Tom. I love it. He looks like he'll play another 3, though. That's what I want him to do.
Will he play another 3?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it all depends at this stage in his career how much he feels he has left in the tank at the end of it. I'm a little surprised it wasn't a 2-year deal, at least with the player option for the second. But he's out there acting as his own agent, from my understanding.
Yes,
so if
Aren't we all, Casey? Aren't we all?
I don't think
Some
you are.
more successfully than others. Great to see Tom Abercrombie back. Round 6 results, Sal's NBL. And yet again, we say it every week, here they are, and it just keeps switching and changing. The Hawks were on the double. The Giants were on the double as well. Wins for the Hawks. Giants, Nuggets over the Saints. More on that one coming up. Tuatara, very impressive against the Hawks. The Bulls on the road, that was a good win. And the Rams get the Giants in the Sunday sesh. So let's pick it apart.
One dud game for mine, just the Tuatara doing everything they needed to. Oof. And after that first quarter, the next 3 was an absolute ram raid. Like they came in, stole their vapes, and off they went over the Hawks. they really did a job on the Hawks, unfortunately, who just had no answer for the speed of the Tuatara. Yeah, it was great shooting. Rob Lowe just had his way. He's genuinely, he's arguably, I reckon, the best defender in the paint in the league.
Yeah, it's we've been talking, Justin, on and off about who's the best two-way player, and I think Rob Lowe and Todd Withers are right there in that conversation for the way they affect games. Really surprised more for the Hawks than what the Tuatara performance was, because we know they're pretty good, but they're not deep. The Hawks coming off a better performance or a bit of a revenge game where they controlled it wire to wire from a lackluster performance from the Airs, then just had none of that a couple days out. And they've got some real answers they have to find. But once again, Nuggets, cream of the crop. They are just beating everybody that comes in their path.
Well, already a loose show because we've jumped ahead. Airs and Hawks.
Sorry,
let's
Justin.
go back to Thursday night.
Yep.
Hawks get that one on the road. Airs, just not sure where they're at the moment. I just can't pick them.
I made the comment to Casey, sorry Casey, but I made the comment to Casey, it feels like they've got 3 imports that are similar. They like to put the ball on the floor, they like to shoot it from deep, they like to be cutting, slashing. They don't have enough of a difference between those 3 imports. And it looks like there might be a bit of a log jam there. Unless they just go up and down in the game, you might find the Airs have to do something about that.
And Hilliard needs more looks.
He'll settle though.
But his teammates have to settle around him and understand the type of player he is. He's a high volume guy who's got to get in his hand a lot. He can't come off and get 1 or 2 possessions per quarter. You have to really run things through him to get the best out of his ability.
Yeah, totally agree. Sharks and Giants. Giants on the road, 2nd win in a row. Where are the Sharks at?
They're in Invercargill, Justin.
Great.
And I don't know how they're going to fare. I said it earlier in the rounds. They rely too much on Jeremy Kendall, and they're not getting enough. And I believe in that first show, I said it with Drew Leo and Lonzo Burden on the wings. That's great. But I feel like those 2 guys need to get the ball a little bit more, get those clean looks. And Tisovic, when his shot's not falling, he's doing what Michael Harris does at the Nuggets. He goes and hustles everywhere else, which is fantastic. But Romaro Gill was out on an island, fouled out, and that gave them heaps of trouble when they went small.
You worried about them, Case?
A little bit. I think they're running out into the ceiling of their talent level at times, but also a dichotomy of styles of play that guys want to work. You got Drew Leo Lisoniope out there. He wants to run, he wants to get out. That's not really Gill's game. That's not really Anticevic's game. game. I think Kendall, he looks to throw it ahead and push the pace, but he's more of a half-court guy as well. So it's about trying to find that balance between the half-court and putting some pressure in transition, because they have to take advantage of some of the skills they have. But great to see the Giants play a better game.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. The Sharks need a little bit more out of Zoe and Drew Leo at the moment. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. Pledger as well will help them immensely. He's legitimate, obviously, 7-footer. Nice soft touch around the keyway. Just how many minutes those legs can handle after being away from the game so long. It's a great story, but he needs to come and unfortunately produce straight away for Pledger, and he'll want to as well, which would be cool to see.
Nuggets and the Saints, 2 questions here. McLaughlin, Withers, and also Harris, best import trio right now?
I say no.
I'd go with the Jets.
I'd go with the Jets. Even though the Jets lost, I still think the Jets have got the best out of the 3 import spots. The Nuggets are second, either the Tuatara or the Nuggets. And then the Rams, because we don't know how much.
Don't know what's going to happen there.
And it's a grey area, more on that in a moment.
Shortly, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Nuggets, again, they've got guys who play one position. They haven't got imports that are similar, that crossover. Their 2s, their wings, their 3s, or their 4s and 5s.
And I think the Nuggets trio of imports probably don't have as heavy a load to lift as the Jets do.
Yep.
They have to do it all. If they're not each dropping 20 to 25 points a game, they got no chance.
That's a fair call. Saints defensively are a mess. Let's put it on the table. They're the worst defense in the competition. We saw a couple of plays in this game, one in particular where Darcy Knox literally just dribbled past everybody. No help defense, easy basket for him. It was a telling sign in this game. Saints were in this game, but defensively, they're really letting themselves down at the moment.
Yeah, the Saints, taxing times on their defensive end for the Wellington Saints. I don't know how they can remedy that without actually having to, Troy McLean, I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to have to get some help. He's going to have to get somebody to take the scruff of the neck, by the scruff of the neck there, and start imploring them to stop teams scoring.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple, but it's convoluted in this league because everybody is scoring in a variety of ways.
Yeah. And Casey, Tom Vodanovic did everything he could in this game to get his team up.
He's a worker. He's always going to be out there and worker, but it's not about the level of work. It's about the level of execution and the level of communication on defense. They certainly have the talent. They certainly have the ability, but where is that communication? Who's on that back line talking out? Who's on a swivel? And who's making those other guys accountable? Somebody has to step up and say, hey, if we have real aspirations to reach the level of our talent, we have to start producing on this end of the court.
Now, there's a bit of a dust-up at the end of this game. I want to talk through it. The Saints here, under 20 seconds to go, take 2 shots and score. Under 20 seconds. They could have dribbled it out. Now, Musias certainly doesn't like the fact that Max Pierce, he's taken exception at him taking that shot with a few seconds to go. Now, what you'll see happen here is Marlon Taylor gets involved off the bench.
Here he comes.
Here comes Marlon
Other
Taylor.
top of his screen.
He's having a word now.
He's in the handshake line waiting.
Yep.
From the other side, here comes your Corey McLaughlin.
And this is where it all starts. But it emanates from the fact...
Darnay's in there.
Weird.
Get in there, Darnay.
Weird that.
Yes. Now, this, Justin, I know the point you're going to make, but this is championship team who have banners after banners after banners that aren't anywhere near getting a banner this season against the reigning champs, and that Wellington Saints team don't really like getting smacked up by their Tiger Nuggets on the road. Now, the point you're going to make is completely valid.
And the point I'm going to make is the Saints, if they wanted to, they had the chance to dribble that game out. They chose not to. They took 2 shots and they scored. Young Max Pierce, who's just come onto the court,
Get that bucket.
takes a late shot, few seconds to go. The Saints imports take exception to it. They're mad about it. It leads to the dust-up. The fact is that every point counts in this competition because of head-to-head. Nobody's telling the imports who grow up taking exception to this that these late baskets absolutely could be the difference ladder position at the end of the season.
Yeah, agree. There should be some better communications to let these players know how important these buckets are at the end of the games. But hey, play some defense. You don't want somebody to score, you go out defend them. You don't want them to get that shot, get in the passing lane. I don't care if there's 2 seconds left or 20 minutes left. Go out there and play every tick because the game's not over till the whistle finishes. And if you're thinking there's some level of disrespect to that, respect yourself in your own game to not put yourself in that position.
Why is it he always talks sense?
I didn't. I tuned out.
We've spoken about the Tuatara and the Hawks. It was an absolute smacking. We know that. Jets and Bulls on Sunday. What did you make of this game? Because I thought the Jets were going to get it.
They should have got it. Like, they had it. I don't know. Like you asked me before you went and did your call, what happened to Heron?
Yeah.
And I said this is how his scoring broke down. And you were like, it must have been the 2 fouls. But you can't let your import trio, when one of them has 2 fouls in the first half, you can't sit them.
Yep.
You ride that out because they're smart enough and good enough not to get a 3rd foul.
Sat 8.5 minutes.
Yeah,
in
it was too long, and they left their run too late. But it wasn't Mustafa Heron's fault that Dom Calvin Poto missed only 1 shot and ate them up inside. Ate them up inside because they got, Josh Ledger in foul trouble early on, and there was no real size to shift Dom Calvin Poto around in that painted area.
Heron did take exception to it in the 3rd quarter, though, didn't he?
He did.
He came out with a
19, I believe.
He started giving it. I think he finished with 22 in that game, so 22nd half points. But Danny Pippen, a really strong player, but not a great big. If he's not in there enforcing things, he's not blocking everybody out. He's not a huge weak side shot blocker. So when Josh Ledger's in foul trouble and Liam Judd's, he struggles to be that big position.
Jackson Stent as well. He can be physical, but he struggled with Dom Calvin Poto's size, who knows how to use his body and the angles.
Undersized Bulls team because they still don't have Harrison.
Casey, we saw the Rams and the Giants. Rams get it by 8. Tevin Brown had 26. Woodson 26 back the other way for the Giants. What did you make of the game?
Well, it was this final score makes it look a lot prettier than it was in person. Just absolutely dominant by the Rams in Ty Wynyard's last game. They're certainly going to miss him. We might touch on that in a bit, but really like the way the Rams played for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden
just
nothing.
Stopped,
I mean, just completely stopped. And the Giants, they didn't play badly. They just didn't play good. They couldn't hit shots. They got in foul trouble, and it's not like they suddenly lifted themselves. It's just the Rams completely dropped, and I've seen this a couple times from there this season. So a little concerning about their inability to put the foot on the neck.
I feel as though the Giants and the Hawks were guilty of getting the first up win in the round and then thinking everything was on the right path to being fixed and then just running into 2 high-quality teams who are much better and deeper than they are at the moment. And they can be there, but they just found that second game weary on the legs.
Guess who plays each other this week?
I've got the schedule in front of me. I don't have to guess. I can just...
Giants and the Hawks, it is right there. Hey, listen, one thing that came out of that game between the Rams and the Giants, a bit of a lighter moment, a bit of a funnier moment with Alex McNaught. We love him, young gun on the rise. This is out of a timeout. Hello. Look at that.
Yes, Alex McNaught.
That was my second favourite moment from the Giants this game.
Let me see ya.
He's thinking what Mike Fitcher was saying in that timeout that went to air.
Fantastic stuff from Alex McNaught.
Hey, it's a game. Let's have some fun with it every once in a while.
Don't stare into his eyes too long.
No, I know.
You'll turn into a wizard.
Blue steel.
Let's have a look at the ladder after round 6.
You can't drive that.
Oh!
Sorry, Alex. Just a joke. You can't.
Oh, he's an ambi-turner.
What do you two make of this at the moment?
Oh, it changes every week, Justin. I mean, the Bulls won 1 game and they went from 7th to 4th. And the Jets obviously suffered at the hands of that. But there's 4 points that separates 8 teams.
Yep.
That's the main thing for me. And that point stuff, that's going to be everything.
Yeah. You have come out, Casey, and said 9 wins may get you in this season. Starting to actually look that way.
I don't think there's any doubt that 9 wins get you back in at the bottom half of that lineup, especially if the Nuggets and Rams continue to play at this level.
Yep.
Going to be tough for the Rams. It doesn't look like it's going to be tough for the Nuggets right now, but every single game matters, especially for these teams at the bottom. Even though they haven't played great basketball from 7 to 10 yet, you can start right now. And there have been signs from all of these teams that they're capable of it. And they're only 5 or 6 wins from getting right back into it.
What's really good for the teams that are below the Rams and the Tuatara have to play the 2 teams above them in the Rams and the Nuggets. Like that top 4 is going to change. And whether or not the teams like the Franklin, the Jets and the Sharks, if they can take advantage of that, I mean, some of these teams could make the biggest jump in the ladder and then fall back down.
By the way, Saints finished 4th into the regular season last year. Obviously had that big run home. They've started 2-5. They started last season 2-5.
And don't forget, last season's playoff schedule came down to the very last game and points differential. It's going to do the same thing.
I agree with you. Hey, talking point, it's a big one out of the weekend. The Rams, they've now lost Ty Wynyard, gone to Shanghai, and also Jared Wilson-Frame played his last game for the Rams. It's a pretty big impact.
It certainly is. Also, shout out to the Wynyard family as well. His father, Jason Wynyard, an unbelievable axeman. He also came out and said, announced that he's battling stage 4 cancer as well. So it's a difficult time for Ty. No doubt he'd want to be here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, supporting his dad, but his dad and his family will be really happy for Ty and going and getting that bag, which he deserves. But yeah, this is interesting. The Jared WilsonFrame news is something that is really, really interesting. And I had to get Casey to break it down. I still didn't understand it, which is not rare.
Okay, conversation is right now for me gearing towards, is it time to bring in a mid-season trade window? Is it time to actually start talking about this?
So you're saying, say, rounds 8, 9 and 10 is the trade window, so we're talking kind of mid-season-ish?
Round about 7, 8, 7, 8.
Yeah, 7, 8. So what we're heading into now...
Rams need to do something.
Things have settled. The Saints need to do something.
Yep.
The Giants need something.
Yep.
I like it.
I'm going to give you some scenarios.
Oh,
Bit of fun.
Scenario.
Now, these are purely hypothetical.
Get your
everyone.
phones out.
Give it to me, Keith. Let's go.
Do not ring me. I don't want to hear from you. These are purely hypothetical. So here we go. First one. Tuatara get Quinn Bailey. They need a power forward. Ayers get Jordan Hunt. I think he'd be a great fit for them. Hawke's Bay free up cap space and add a second import, and I think they need one.
Yeah, oh man, Quinn Bailey has been really good for the Ayers. I really like what he did on the weekend as well. He finishes really nicely. I mean, that's a tough call for the Hawks though, because Jordan Hunt off the bench is where he should be. Do
they need a second import?
With Ireland? Well, yeah.
You've got to free up cap space to do it.
I still think they have enough talent to be winning games there. It's about execution for them. For this one, I'd love it if it was a Tuatara. Sure, all open arms. Give me a player. That'd be great. Taranaki, I don't know if that switch there, how he fits as well. He probably fits much better, and I think Taranaki would be happy to make that trade. For the Hawks, I think if it's about cap space, I don't know if the cap hit that Jordan's got there would be enough to give them the player at this point of the season of quality.
But also, the Tuatara, don't they have the Cruz Pero Hunt spot available and that money available as well?
Maybe. I'm going to say it a million times. These are hypotheticals. Here's hypothetical number 2 for a mid-season trade window. Sharks get Jayden Bazan. I think he needs a new environment. I think he'd go down there and do well. Bulls receive Drew Leolasongiape. I think he maybe needs a new environment closer to home. And of course, maybe they can now scoop in with an available import spot and pick up Jared WilsonFrame.
I could see how the Bulls could use another shooter that's a pure shooter, the way Jared WilsonFrame comes off and he's got that ability. I don't see how Drew Leolasongiape would fit as well. I think he'd probably get lost as much with the Bulls, especially behind Frame and from Ricky McGill.
And Brantley as well.
Yeah, but the Sharks, they would love an extra point guard. If they could have somebody and let Kendall play off the ball a little bit so conserve his energy, they would love to get that deal done. That would be big for them.
Hypothetical number 3. Here we go. Wellington Saints pick up Pascal Momosia because the Jets have to give something up. The Jets need some more depth. 2 players lacking minutes for the Saints right now, especially the last few games. Kenneth Tuffin, Francis Winiera Mulvihill.
I think that's too much. I think the Saints are giving up too much for Pafe. And I love Pafe.
Which is funny because I think there's no way that the Manawatu can give up Pafe because that's even less size than they have now. They're trading out a guy who's a bigger guard and can play above himself for 2 guys, for a 2 guard and a point guard. And their big trouble is rebounding the basketball and on the interior. So for this one, I don't like it either.
Okay, that hypothetical's been binned. Let's have a look at the next one. And this time we've got the Sharks involved again. Kaya Isaac, I think teaming him up with Ben Hall in that second unit at the Sharks would be great. We saw them play 3x3 together, of course, Casey, and they were very, very good. Jack Andrew, the Rams need a big. He needs more minutes. The
Nuggets
down the
bottom?
Free up some cap space.
What's that down the bottom there?
Maybe give Ty a call.
What's that? It looks like Ty's in the country.
Little sprinkles.
Yes or no?
So you got to play minimum 7 games to make the postseason?
5.
Is it 5 now?
5.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting, Justin. I like
Last one. Let's move on. And this one's just for a bit of fun. I'd love to see Troy Baxter getting up and down for the Giants and Matua Maker. He knows the Rams. He was there last season. They need another big, and maybe he's the answer.
Matua Maker is coming into his own. He looks like he's shaken off, injury rust in general. He's finding his feet for the Giants.
Yep.
That's a big let go because he's long, he's quick, he's got great strides, he just covers the floor so well. And Troy Baxter Jr.,
If I'm the Giants, I say no, because I don't think Baxter Jr.'s style of play fits with what the Giants do. They're not quite that far up and down. He's really reliant on transition to be able to get his scoring. In the half court, I don't know if he'd work well with what they're trying to do.
Here's why I want a mid-season trade window.
Okay.
It can and/or help players and help teams. Reshape, reset, players, fresh opportunities.
Not just bringing in imports and jettisoning them.
Changes what we've learnt so far and where we're going next. But more importantly, it creates debate.
Well, I'm all for it because it's not a long season. It's only for like 2 months max.
Yep.
You get a change. You get the ability to come in, a little few revenge games perhaps sprinkled around.
Yep.
I like it.
Look, as a creation of chat points, of things to talk about, and I love it. The reality is, a lot of it, like Quinn Bailey, he's a dairy farmer. Yep. he's got to go up and move his life.
Dairy farmer.
He's a good I'm sure he is. But
that makes perfect sense, actually.
These are people with lives and jobs. I think it would be great to do. But when we talk about trading athletes, they're being compensated for it. As great an opportunity as these guys have to play and get made money, it's not enough of a remuneration for that, and I think that would have to be considered when you're talking about people.
Casey's calling for more money. We've got to move on. NBA. I know it is absolutely at the heart of what you two guys talk to each other about every single week. Where are we at? What's happening? Conference finals. Cannot wait.
Jimmy Butler is going to give the Celtics a lot of trouble, and the Celtics look like they needed 51 points to head off the 76ers from Jason Tatum, and the 76ers basically handed the game to them.
They really only need about 31.
30, yeah.
but bubble rematches. The Celtics, I've been confused about them all season long.
Yeah.
That is their talent level goes up and down. I'm not sure where it's at. Miami, I would love to see Miami make it to the finals. If they 8th seed, they would have the chance to host the NBA Finals if the LA Lakers would be on the other side.
Well, imagine if the Lakers and the Heat both got through.
It would be amazing. I think the NBA would love it if it was Lakers Celtics.
Yeah. And
then for it to be, I don't know, the Heat and the Lakers still, Miami, engage that East Coast. I think that's great as well. But the Nuggets are so good at home.
No, we've talked about it for 3 minutes now and haven't mentioned the Nuggets, who are by far the best team.
No one mentions the Nuggets after 3 minutes.
They do have the best player. And there's a difference between MVP and there's a difference between best player. And he's the best player in the league right now.
Yeah.
And the way they're playing offensively, I think the only team that can really probably slow them down is the Lakers, because they have that top-tier talent, especially in Anthony Davis, one of the few guys on this planet who can guard him or Jokic one-on-one.
Who makes it through?
I'm leaning Denver, and I will never pick Boston for everything, so I'm leaning Miami.
I don't like Boston fans, but I'm going Boston and I'm going the Nuggets.
Look forward to talking more about that in the weeks ahead. Round 7 in the Sal's NBL heating up. Here we go. This is the rundown. Nuggets Tuatara Thursday night.
Juicy.
Bulls Friday.
Nice.
Saturday, game 1, Rams and the Lizards.
That's going to be interesting.
Juicy. Jets and the Sharks Saturday night. The Sunday double, Hawks and Giants.
Must win.
And Saints and Sharks. The rivalry continues.
Oh, that's going to be spicy.
Your feature game.
My feature game, I've gone that Saints-Sharks game.
Tell us why.
A little bit desperate, obviously, for the Sharks. Very desperate for the Saints. They need to fix things on defence. But the Saints, they can wait. Well, they've got a week. They've had a week. If they can't fix things in a week, somebody has to go. Somebody has to go. Somebody has
on the court or off the court.
Wellington.
Something has to happen, and the Saints are the team that does it. I wouldn't say it about any other team, because they're the ones who are prepared to make changes up until the end of the season.
My game of the week is the Hawks and the Giants. I think it's desperation mode for both those teams. The team that gets that win puts himself in a good position for a stretch run to make that top 6. The team that takes that L is in bad position going down. I was maybe out of commission.
I was going to take Nuggets to a Tata, but it was just the obvious one.
Yep.
That is just that doesn't need to be said, because like I said earlier, it's the round for the Tuatara to really prove themselves.
So there you go. Rightio, let's finish it off. Yes and no on Sal's Hoophead. Strap yourselves in.
Don't at me.
Did you like the Airs?
Adam, for sure.
Pink uniforms.
Love them.
Yes.
And the message behind it as
yes
well.
Or no? Now he gets to say extra stuff, Justin.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but I'm succinct and I don't take it personally.
Jets. Are they the Jekyll and Hyde of the competition right now?
No.
Okay.
No.
Troy Baxter Jr. Is he the most athletic player in the league?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
You're going to say Marlon Taylor.
I'm going to go Marlon Taylor.
Can the Rams win the title without Ty Wynyard? Yes or no?
Yes.
Incomplete. I got to see who they fit. Without him and no replacement?
Without Ty Wynyard, can
Yes.
they win? Yes
Oh
or
no.
I'm refusing to answer until I know who you replace him.
Yes. Oh no.
If they don't replace him, though. If they replace him,
Oh
it's so close,
dear.
yes.
Miles, let's stage your walkout. Hawks, do they need to find a way to add a second import? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, they've got enough talent. They need to execute.
Worried about the Saints defensively? Yes or no?
Yes.
Would you like to see a trade window in the league? Yes or no?
Yes.
Would I like to see it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I can't even say yes.
I like the fact that he told you off for doing something similar.
Exactly.
That's not what I told them all for.
Let's finish it off.
Being misquoted by myself.
We love our mascots.
Yes.
Is this the
No.
most popular mascot in the Cells NBL? Of course, we talk of none other than
Magilla?
the Yeti.
The Yeti?
Oh, the Yeti.
Oh, yes, he's
the
very
Yeti in the
popular.
ears.
Up and about, up with the crowd.
What about Benny
signing
and the
autographs.
Jets?
Signing autographs last week.
I love
Yeti.
it.
Magilla's pretty popular.
Magilla's very popular. I mean, he's in the Toyota from Rutherford and Bond and honking the horn.
What's the
During
miner?
games?
What's
Yeah.
the miner's name down in Otago?
Mac the Miner.
The Miner.
Mac
I
the
like
Miner.
But still, I'm still going to go with G.I.N.
Oh yeah, that's
G.I.N.
pretty. Yeah.
Maybe. I haven't seen the G.I.N. this year though.
Took
Yeah.
me 2 years to figure out what GIN actually.
Shout out to the Canterbury Ram as well.
Rambo.
Rambo.
Tuatara is not a lizard; it's a dinosaur. I was corrected before the call. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like actual the Tuatara they have as a dinosaur?
The
We just,
Tuatara
can we
is an
stick the
animal,
camera
is
back
a
on me?
dinosaur.
Thank you. You two can keep going. Look, we're going to get out
I've
of
been
here.
calling
This would
dinosaurs.
go on for
It looks
weeks
like a
and
lizard.
weeks and
I
weeks.
know, but it's
Mascot
not.
talk. We love
Cold-blooded?
it. Cells
Yeah.
Group heads. Hope
Well,
they've
that
enjoyed
sounds
it.
like
We'll see you next week. Will you two shut up?
Yeah.
Told us to keep going.